Let's be honest, the world has changed a lot over the past few years. Today, you can configure and order electric scooters online and name your preferred delivery date. New products, faster, more personalized. Yeah, the things we like to do for fun present major challenges to companies all over the world. From personalized production to mass-producing one-off items and getting new products to market with lightning speed. Securely and flexibly, of course, delivering exactly what the customer wants with consistently high quality at affordable prices while always looking for new ideas to generate more business. This takes true entrepreneurial spirit and a whole lot more. Product development, automated production processes, and digitalization must go hand in hand in order to create a company that can do all this. In other words, a true digital enterprise. We have cool cloud-based analysis tools and trailblazing new technologies that keep making everything better and more transparent. And if you don't know where to start, don't worry. Siemens has digitalization service experts who can guide you on where and how to take the first step. Once you've done all this, you have built a digital enterprise. And that means that everything will now be much faster, more individualized, and have the highest quality. It's good for customers, and it's good for the industry. To sum it up, a multitude of software tools and products must, of course, all work together. And Siemens has a name for this, the digital enterprise. No one else can offer this, really. And suddenly, when you hear someone say,
"Realize your digital transformation now,"
it all makes perfect sense. The digital enterprise, only we have it.
Siemens, ingenuity for life.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining our event this year under these quite special circumstances. I hope you are all well, wherever you are watching us. It is a pleasure talking to all of you today on behalf of VDI Brazil and BASF. My name is Vera Felbermeier. I've been working for BASF for 21 years, and I'm responsible in South America for all technical service areas, the site management of our two multi-OD sites, as well as the areas of safety, security, operational excellence, and digitalization. Since last year, I am also a member of the board of directors at VDI Brazil. And as a mechanical engineer who developed most of her career in the process industry, the discussion with my colleagues from other sectors on digitalization in Industry 4.0 is always quite fruitful. So I will try to bring some of the spirit to this discussion today as well. In the keynotes, we heard about how the manufacturing industry is working on the integration of the technology landscape and creating common platforms to have seamless data flow. In the process industry in BASF, we also have our digital strategy, which comprehends the end-to-end value chain, focusing on business to business in chemical sectors, going from basic chemicals to vitamin and ingredients for human and animal nutrition, cosmetics, raw materials, agro-business solutions, and mining, as well as including business to business solution, business to customer solutions provided, for example, by our decorative brand Souvenir. The digital journey is very tough for a diverse company like BASF, and I believe for most of the companies watching us too, when it comes to modernization and digitalization of existing plants and simplification of existing processes. Mindset transformation, customer experience with innovation growth, efficiency, sustainability, and data security are the main aspects which require lots of investment and efforts. Technologies like big data, data lake, artificial intelligence with machine learning, cloud services, virtual and mixed reality, data science are today the main differentiation to compete in the market. The specific challenges are there, but I need to clearly state that BASF, together with our partners, are moving into the high level of digitalization and changing the status quo. Some of our plants are getting vertically integrated and fully automated. We gave already a huge step to connect our workforce and implement intelligent tools worldwide. A digital twin, for example, for every plant covering the entire plant life cycle is becoming reality. So now, connecting all these points, let's bring in our first panelist, Pablo Fava, who can give us a broader picture of how this might unfold the future here in Brazil. Since March 2020, Pablo is the CEO of Siemens in Brazil, responsible for the infrastructure and industry areas. During his 24 years working at Siemens in Argentina, Germany, and Brazil, he has been responsible for different areas related to industrial automation. As a trained engineer, Pablo is trying to make digital transformation happen in Brazil through innovation. Pablo, thank you very much for joining our discussion today. To follow up on the keynotes, we have heard from Frank that Siemens is an essential partner in the development of their industrial cloud as an expert of how to connect machines and processes to the cloud. Could you please detail a little bit more what Siemens is bringing to the table?
Yes. Hello, Vera. Good morning. Do you hear me?
Yeah? Yes, we can hear you.
Good morning. Good morning to everybody. Before everything, thank you very much for this invitation, Vera, to the VDI colleagues and everybody. I'm very glad to be here with you today. Before everything, I would like to start with some comments about the new Siemens. Maybe everything of you have heard already that we have done a spin-off of our carve-out of our energy sector. So we have now 3 Siemens. One Siemens Healthineers, which is working on health. Siemens Energy, which is working on the energy transition and also the decarbonization agenda. And the new Siemens, where we are working specifically on the digital transformation of industries and of smart cities. That's where we are working now. So, and in this regards, this digital transformation for us is a long history. We have been working, you all know us from the very shop floor technologies that are present in a customer, particularly in this case of Volkswagen, but in many other customers. So we have already the technology to connect all the sensors and actuators in the field to automate, to make an automation out of it. So the control systems and so on, which is the second level. And also to go to the next level, which is MES systems, SCADA systems, and DCS systems for process plants, as well as going to PLM, product lifecycle management, and plant lifecycle management, and also the IoT connection and the IoT intelligence behind that with our MindSphere platform. All of that, all of them are platforms, are open platforms that are able to be connected to any other platform from competitors or from customers' needs. And in platforms, I would say that the main challenge that we have, or the main help that we can bring to our customers, is supporting here in Brazil with knowledge of that, knowledge in our team, transferring the knowledge also to our customers that are implementing those solutions, and also to establish a competent environment, ecosystems with integrators, with OEMs that are delivering the goods, also with these technologies. So at Siemens, in all these levels, we just work or place where our customer is willing to work with us, together with us. So and starting from the consulting phase, and helping to decide what is the best investment to be taken. Nowadays, now going to the VW solutions, the Volkswagen solutions, I would say all this connectivity has to be taken in an easy way. All this data, well organized, well architect those data in order to bring them to the cloud. Because those data have to be easy to be find in order to make other conclusions. In some cases, machines are working as standalones, And then you will need some adaptations of the machines with very simple ways, like we have some modules, IoT modules, we name them, in order to make a very fast connection to the cloud, or even to work on edge computing, where the customer is willing to make some, to take conclusions already in the field before sending this information to the cloud. We can act in all those topics, and this is more or less, in a fast way, what we are doing here.
Thank you, Pablo. And let us now get our keynote speaker, Frank Göller, involved in the discussion. He has a long experience in consulting, focusing on topics such as lean transformation and lean digital. Since last year, he is responsible for all digitalization activities in production and logistics in the Volkswagen Group. Frank, it is a pleasure to have you joining our discussion today as well. Let me try to dig a little bit deeper into the project that you presented in your keynote. I know COVID-19 has obviously, and for good reasons, put Volkswagen a bit behind on schedule in the rollout of the industrial cloud. But could you give us a hint of some further use cases that you are currently working on, or at least in which area you most expect them to really be successful?
Okay, yeah, love to do that. Hello, everybody. Vera, thanks for this nice introduction. Pablo, great having you here as one important partner here in our digital production platform activities. Yeah, I'm talking to you here from the middle of Germany. I'm sitting in Wolfsburg. It's cold and a bit rainy. I guess in your areas it's a bit better. Yeah, and I'm really happy to talk about our project. And as I mentioned in my keynote, we have two very important partners on board. So with AWS, we have our cloud expert here in the ship, in the boat to drive the topic. And with Siemens, we have also another very, very important industry partner, integration partner, to learn more and to implement more on the connectivity and edge side. And you asked about use cases, Vera. So I cannot share everything, but I can share some things. And for example, one very interesting case we are developing together at the moment, also intensely with the Siemens colleagues, is in the body in white shop area here, especially welding processes where we position different welding spots on a body of a car. And typically in the old process, you have from time to time, you have to do offline checks, quality checks. So you have to take the panels, you have to take the welding spot to destroy, to check the quality of the welding spot. And with the new use case we are developing with an edge device and also with edge processing. So that's not a clear cloud process use case. But here we try to collect for each welding spot over 400 parameters, using these parameters to identify which are specifically describing a okay product or a not okay product. And based on that knowledge, on that pattern, we're developing that at the moment. We are able to say, is the welding spot then in a okay quality or in a not okay quality? This will stop us then doing destructive quality checks, and we can really do inline quality checks while doing spot welding. So that's a tiny thing, but if we think about all the body in white factories we've got all around the world, it can really significantly increase our efficiency. That's one case. Another case of fancy stuff is all around industrial computer vision. Industrial computer vision, you know, it's using cameras to identify also failures or missing parts or maybe wrong connected wiring. And here we have several applications. This starts, for example, in our press shops, identification of cracks in metal after the stamping. So typically old world people have to check manually if the metal sheets are okay. Here we can use then the cameras, and the algorithm are taught to really identify those cracks and then to give a stop to the process line if a quality failure occurs. Or also a very interesting industrial computer vision topic is the check of picked parts. You know, we do in logistics very often car sets where we pick different variants of parts, different colors of parts, of interior parts. And here there is no one who has to check finally if the right parts are in the right box, but only a camera system is checking this and giving us a green light to say this box is correctly collected and picked, and then we can send it to the assembly line. These are some of the cases we are driving. A lot of is on data collection, what we are doing. So using the devices to collect the data and then to really track the performance, to understand how good is the machine availability, how often do we miss parts or do we create failures. So this is the first step to really get the transparency across our processes in the manufacturing lines. Okay, or Vera, now we lost Vera. No, back again.
I was on mute.
Sorry.
Thank you. Many thanks, Frank. Let us now complete our panel, inviting the CEO of Mercedes-Benz Brazil and Daimler Latin America, Karl Deppen, to our virtual stage. Karl has been working in leading roles in the automotive industry all over the world, including US, Turkey, and Japan. Some of his recent roles include CFO of Daimler Group in China and Vice President of the Mercedes-Benz Car Group. Karl, great to have you with us today. In Frank's presentation, we have seen the use case example of the certification labels, which appears quite simple at first sight. On the other hand, it is a practical use case that shows a tendency rather towards reliability and quality assurance than towards the iterative innovation cycles approach we have seen as the last stage of digital transformation in Matthias' presentation. In this context, how would you describe the priorities of Daimler worldwide and in Brazil when it comes to Industry 4.0 applications?
Well, first of all, good morning, everybody. Vera, thank you for the introduction, and it's a great pleasure to be here today with the community, and congratulations to the organizers to make it happen even in the difficult situations. To answer your question, I think let me put things into context. Mercedes-Benz do Brazil is the market leader for trucks and buses in Brazil and in South America. And our brand stands for quality, safety, and reliability. And these topics matter a lot to our customers. And we see Industry 4.0 in all its dimensions as a great contributor to what our brand has been standing for almost 64 years here in Brazil and more than 130 years worldwide. But we could also see it in the keynote speech. The automotive industry, so are we, is a very complex organization of processes, and improving the quality is a big challenge to all of us and also for us here in Brazil. With Industry 4.0, our intention has been not only to focus on the quality, but we see it really from a holistic picture. How can we add value and transform value from data into value? Because our experience has been we have accumulated data in very different places of the chain. And with Industry 4.0, we found the catalytic momentum to bring all this data together and add more value to it. One is, of course, quality. But we also have a complex supply chain to manage. That means providing better and more reliable data to our suppliers. We have very sophisticated production equipment, so that means also better supervision and transparency on the state of operations of the equipment. That brings up the uptime, so it brings efficiency gains, and so on and so on. And we've seen across the entire value chain substantial improvements already. And just recently, we introduced the new Industry 4.0 manufacturing line for our bus chassis. And this is again a big showcase how we put all the elements of Industry 4.0 in place to really tap value from the data we have. And earlier in the year, we started already our Industry 4.0 manufacturing line for the heavy-duty trucks. So we see that really building block by building block being implemented. Of course, it's a big challenge, and we do that together with our colleagues around the world. And I think both Pablo and Frank have laid out that this is a scalable approach, and this is what we are applying as well in the different plants around the world, making sure that we have Mercedes-Benz quality no matter whether it's in Brazil or elsewhere in the world.
Thank you, Karl. Pablo, I would like to come back to you and the role of Siemens in this process. Let's talk about what Frank said about the IT/OT landscape, since we all know that Brazil has a considerable older machine park than many other countries. How can Siemens help to bring more structure into the spaghetti bowl? What can you say about investments in this context?
This is right. This is correct. In some cases, we have our aged machines and machinery, and as I said, in many cases are working as standalone. So the thing is, how do we make it very fast, easy for customers in order to take this information and to bring into a analysis levels from our perspective. So as much as we're working on automation and in the motion control part also of the movements of the plants, there are pretty easy ways to do that through connectors like IoT modules or through edge computing, or even connectors on the existing controllers already. The good part of this history is that the three companies, customers of Siemens that are represented here, like Volkswagen or Mercedes-Benz or even BASF, Vera, that you're here, all of you are working with standardized systems in automation. Volkswagen has a VASS standard, VAS, which is Volkswagen, Audi, Seat, Skoda, if I'm not wrong, Frank. Mercedes-Benz has the Integra standard, and the BASF has the PCS7 standard for a process plant. And this is not only a standard of automation and using a platform. And a platform, you're going to have a PLM, a life cycle of this data platform, but also you have organization of the data. You have architecture of the data. And that's what is important in this digital transformation. So I think the first step in this case is being done. And in Brazil, we have those histories, but also we have very good examples of what to do. As we have been talking better before, that you have a benchmark in Brazil for the complete BASF group, right? So it's a process where we have to be involved together, co-creating.
Thank you, Pablo. You referred to our digital twin that I mentioned. Let's talk a bit more about the integration of external partners. Frank, you have mentioned the digital production platform concept and the importance of cloud architectures to scale up applications around the world. The volume of data is obviously massive, and at this point, you may not be able to see what kind of data will be useful for external partners. What is your take on what Matthias said about rather figuring out what to do with existing data and putting the right metadata on it, than overloading the data lake?
That's a very good question. And honestly, we are facing this challenge every day at the moment, because we are in the beginning of this journey. And I think I talk for everyone here on this panel that this is all new stuff for us. And a very important role is really the strict separation and question what is really needed on edge level and what is needed on cloud level. And if you start with a very tiny use case, this question must be asked in the very beginning. So you can put everything to the cloud, but on the one side, maybe you have some advantages because more data is available, but it will not help you to solve the specific problem in your production line or in your value creation process. Therefore, the first question to ask, what has to be put to the edge and what is in the cloud? And here, Siemens, again, is really helping, because you can process a lot of that good data in a very quick latency to solve the problem in the local spot. And then a data lake or a data cloud is not necessary in this moment. Maybe you make an upload once a week or something like this, because the big problem is not the storage. The big problem is the speed to load it up and to download it. That's the topic. And therefore, I think that is the hint I can give to everyone who listening to this panel here. And the second thing is also, if I talk about the journey in Volkswagen, we are planning. It's really developing and growing. So we have now connected with end of this year over 20 factories to our digital platform. We have a plan to connect another 30 to 40 factories next year. And but this does not mean that every process, each little step is then feeding into the cloud. We are talking about then maybe the press shop is then connected to the cloud, or maybe an assembly line is connected to the cloud, but not a full factory where you produce something like 200,000 cars a year. And this is definitely a growing topic. And then also you can see and learn while you're doing the journey how much data volume you have to handle. Because at the moment, I don't think that anyone can tell you how much data will flow between the factories and between the clouds and lakes in 2 years' time, in 4 years' time. Therefore, do it and learn it while doing it.
Yes, right. Thank you, Frank. Karl, let us broaden up the discussion a bit. If we look at the key learnings that Frank pointed out, it seems like it's all about organization and culture. Would you agree that given the necessary changes in the way that people and organization work together, that technological challenges are basically just a matter of time? If so, what change do you consider essential in the Brazilian context?
Well, I think our experience has clearly been that there are basically many dimensions benefiting from a holistic approach, and like was mentioned earlier by Frank and also by Pablo. I mean, this is a journey where you just reach another level, and then you have many new ideas, many new visions what you could do, and to really sort out what kind of data you have, what kind of data you really need. That is something we all have to continuously learn. And that, I think, it brings a very important element here. The ability and the readiness to learn as an organization, I think, is quite substantial. And we all, and the bigger the company is, the more functional oriented developments have been in the past. But this is a big advantage of Industry 4.0, that you really bring the data together beyond organizational borders. And this also bears a cultural element, because it's important that people open up. Also have frank discussions about what's relevant, where do they have pain points, how can we eliminate the pain points along the value chain, and not so much looking at just functional boundaries, but really go beyond to make sure we tap the most value out of the data. This is one thing. The other thing is there's always a concern, will Industry 4.0 take all the work away, and will it have impact on my individual work scheme? The answer is yes, it will have impact on the work scheme, but our experience has been the successful implementation goes hand in hand with the knowledge on the shop floor, with the people in the line who also can make a difference still on the product. So the cultural piece is also to discuss and open up across hierarchy, across functional silos, to really bring the people who can make a difference together, and then look clearly along the value chain, where do we have opportunities. And the opportunities, as I mentioned, go beyond just quality. It's also reliability. How good can we basically keep our promise to the customers to deliver the product? We also see a big support for our sustainability strategy because we can eliminate waste and sewer and energy consumption. So we see many factors where we can benefit and profit from Industry 4.0. And our experience has been to involve the people, to get their insights, to get their experience and make them part of the process has been a big enabler. Nevertheless, job skills will have to change, and to support employees on this journey is also crucial because we need to build the new skills, but it can be done, and we see a lot of motivation with people to be part of that development.
Yes, I think especially here in Brazil, there's if we look at our employees, there is a quite big openness for this technology. So this is my experience here in BuzzFeed in Brazil. So maybe more and better and a better basis than in other countries. I think we still have some time, so let's get to some questions by the audience. So somebody needs to say, a question to Frank. How Volkswagen managed and gardeners the necessary infrastructure, hard, middle, and software, for example, in Brazil. Was there a first investment capex for a smart site?
Now, thank you for that question. It's not that easy to answer quickly. Maybe first of it, we don't have this kind of high-end, fancy, smart factory, fully fledged, where you can see all the stuff. We have several test labs, that's clear, but there is no factory to say, oh, that's the high-end factory. You will find several lines and assembly chains where you see, oh, cool, that's really brand new stuff. I name, for example, Porsche in South Germany with the new Taycan, the electrical driven car. That's really a very, very modern and innovative assembly and manufacturing line, if you could visit that. But our key idea with DPP was to reinvent, to refurbish our old structure. I have shown that in my keynote because Vera, you mentioned the bowl of spaghetti. We have these very huge monolithic systems, very old systems, complex, high maintenance costs. And the first idea is really we have to make a new IT structure and a new architecture for our IT system in production. And here the layer system is coming in, and I mentioned it also. First layer to bring the real world into the virtual world is the connectivity. Here Siemens is a big help to create this connectivity level or layer into the edge. And then we have created together with a lot of standard tools of Aave from AWS, and customized tools with VW, we have created the middle layer, and this middle layer is available all around the world. It's growing, it's still growing in development, but if this middle layer is really finished, then I can use it in China, I can use it in Brazil, I can use it in the US, no problem. And the hardware behind it is then with again linked to the local problem you want to solve. If you want to first fix problems in the body in white shop, then please go to the body in white shop to work with the robots there, with the welding equipment, for example. If you want to improve the paint shop, then we hopefully have some applications jointly developed with paint shop suppliers to improve quality surface or process times, etc. Therefore, yes, there is investment done, but it's not more in the hardware, it's more in the software and the structure we are developing at the moment. Hopefully this answer is a bit tackling the question.
Do we have another one? it's I asked the question to myself. How is BASF as a process industry dealing with learning, trying, and doing versus process risks? For example, chemical reaction explosion risk. Also a very good question, because I mentioned it a little bit, but of course I didn't go deeper in this topic. For us in a chemical industry, in a chemical process industry, our process security, safety is key and comes before everything else. I don't want to say that other industries don't do this, but of course the impact if something happens in our industry is tremendous. So of course this is our first and main focus when it comes to digitalization and also usage of data. I think it is manageable because from my point of view, we have in manipulating data manually much more manipulating also in process manually much more risks to fail in terms of quality, etc. PP, and also risks something can happen. So from my point of view, if it is a good setup, and this is of course what our engineers are working on, then from my point of view it's getting more safer than the opposite. Yeah, so no doubt that our future is also in this direction. I hope I answered the question to me. Next is to Karl. Should the major players in the information chain invest and support the data gathering and processing of minor players, as for example, small suppliers?
Yeah, this is a constant question we are also discussing. And of course, we want and we should integrate our partners into the chain, because like I mentioned, in our industry, like in many other manufacturing industries, you have a number of partners in the value chain. It's suppliers, it's dealers, it's distributors, it's customers. So involving those partners provides to be very effective and helps us to improve the overall situation. The second thing is, and I think also there, Siemens is very helpful and is a good example. It also helps us to monitor the equipment we put in place, which is also very often provided by different suppliers, monitoring that equipment and together identify needs for actions before any error happens in terms of preventive maintenance and so on. The possibilities and the opportunities just keep growing. And I think to be part of that chain and that network is very crucial. And therefore, this is also important for us to gradually involve the partners as we move along on this journey. And I think, again, we are all learning with that and making good and great steps forward. But every day we see more opportunities where we can get even better. And this is important to get partners on board and involved as well. And I think that is beneficial for both sides, for us as the manufacturer, as well as for the suppliers, because it helps them also to get a better job done. And that helps to improve the quality in the entire value chain.
Okay, I think there's another one to Pablo. Could you detail how you see the right mix between cloud and edge solutions for Industry 4.0 in Brazil today?
That's an excellent question. It is tough to say. I would say Frank already mentioned about the data that you really need to bring to the cloud, because the problem is not in processing the data. The problem is between sending the info, uploading the info, and downloading the decision out of that, where you're not reaching a real time, let's say, decision. I would say maybe real time is one stuff. If you have to take decisions real time, you better don't bring to the cloud. Safety functions for sure not. I would say, starting from there. But it depends too much on let's say, on the level of the application. If you define that you have to exchange one data from one situation with another data from maybe from another plant, and out of or many data from different plants or so, and out of all this new lake, you're gonna find conclusions that will not be let's say, will not be able or not seen just on one concrete level. Then it's information that you better bring to the cloud. I don't know, maybe I'm not the user actually, but I don't know if you can, as users, can bring some other situations. From my perspective, the topic is restrict in terms of the time to upload and download.
Maybe, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe I can add something. Thanks for this thoughts, Pablo. I would love to rephrase the question a bit, because there is no right mix, but the question should be, which mix between edge and cloud will help me to deliver the best solution for my process? And this could be 0-100 or 100-0. And I think with each application, each solution we will deliver in a digital platform is always the question, how does it serve me, or how does it serve my value creation? And then if a partner is coming to you, oh, you have to maximize the cloud consumption, then you know that's the wrong partner. Because then the partner is not thinking about your business, he's only thinking, or she's only thinking about their own business. And I think that's very, very important. Think about the user experience and think about the impact you create in your own processes. And then you will find the best mix of technology behind it.
Yeah.
One last question.
Yeah,
also to Frank. When is the Volkswagen Industrial Cloud coming to Brazil?
Unfortunately, I cannot say that. We have a plan, but this plan is at the moment confidential, so I cannot share that with you, but I promise we will come to Brazil, and it will not last the next 5 years. It will be quicker.
Okay, very good. So thank you everyone for the questions from the audience. Since our time is almost over, I would like to ask all panelists for a final statement. Maybe Frank, as you just talked and gave us the keynote, maybe you can start, and then Pablo, and then Karl.
Okay. Now, thank you for listening, and thank you for all the questions. Pleasure being here. Maybe I make my last my last comment linked to my last answer I gave. If you go for a digital journey, if you go for digital transformation, always think about the user experience and the impact you want to create. The customer centricity, it's so important. So think about the customer and how you can serve him with your work, and the technology behind it is a second step. We have great engineers, we have great partners on the technical side, but they are only half as good if your thinking from the customer is not a good one, and therefore please start always with the customer. Thanks.
Thank you. Pablo?
From my point, I would just point out exactly what Frank mentioned. It's think on the customer perspective and on the application and what you are willing to obtain out of your out of your investment, out of your implementation, and then act towards this topic. That's why it's very important to maybe the questions to be transferred to the user. Really, what is really what you need from your end? You know, it is a journey that anyhow, as we all said, it's a journey of ecosystems. We have to work in a collaborative way. I would say it's a co-creation process every day. It's something that we build together, and therefore it's a matter where we as Siemens are willing to work together with all of you on this transition.
Thank you. And finally, Karl.
Yeah, thank you, Vera. I think also the discussion has shown what has been our mission already. Putting the customer in the center is one thing for sure. And with Industry 4.0, we also have the opportunity to really make the digitalization work in favor for the customer. And I think for the audience, takeaway, where you start may be a huge task, but just imagine for a moment, if you don't tackle it, what will happen with your business in 5 years? This is one. The other is, don't underestimate the cultural impact. I think it is not only a, let's say, engineering task of some production planning folks and engineers. I think it's really important to be part of the digitalization of the enterprise, to really work on putting data at value, really get the most out of your facility, out of your data, and get the people engaged. It's great fun. I mean, now we can do things that had not been possible 5, 10, 15 years ago. So all the industries that are listening here today have a strong track record of gaining experience, getting good at things, what they do. But here we have really the opportunity to bring everything to another level. And the excitement of the passion people can put in place to make that happen is a big, big success factor. So I can only encourage everybody, make it really also a management task, because it's not just an engineering technical discussion. It has to fall in place into your entire business strategy. And that's something, yes, it's difficult, sometimes tough, sometimes painful, but it's worth the effort, and it's also a lot of fun. So
true.
That's a good part.
Thank you very much. I think this is a very good final statement from you. I would like to thank our panelists, Pablo Fava, Frank Göller, and Karl Deppen, for their time and expertise. I hope you all could take home a clearer picture of where the digitalization of production is heading and what the role of platform solutions are in this context. And with this, I give the word back to my colleague Renate Fuchs. Thank you all, and see you again next year, hopefully then in person. Thank you. Obrigada.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Obrigada, Vera, que discussão incrível entre você, o Franco, o Karl e o Pablo. Muito obrigada por todos os insights e aprendizados. E agora eu vou, infelizmente, comunicar que a gente está chegando ao fim do nosso 12º dia da Engenharia Brasil-Alemanha. Gostaríamos de agradecer a sua presença virtual, a sua compreensão por eventuais probleminhas técnicos, mas acho que deu tudo certo. E já me despeço de vocês nessa altura, e eu espero que a gente se veja na próxima edição desse evento, no ano que vem. E agora, para as palavras de encerramento do nosso evento, eu convido ao palco virtual meu colega, vice-presidente da VDI Brasil e gerente sênior na Mercedes-Benz, André Wulfhorst.
Muito obrigado, Renate. Obrigado pelas suas últimas palavras e por toda a interação durante esse Dia da Engenharia, um Dia da Engenharia muito especial, virtual pela primeira vez, e um dia de 36 horas que nós participamos aqui com muito conteúdo. Neste momento eu quero, então, agradecer a você, pessoalmente, como mestre de cerimônias nesse Dia da Engenharia. Você fez o passado ao vivo, este virtual, e com maestria os dois. Este dia longo também só foi possível com a participação, o empenho, o engajamento de uma série de outras pessoas, nossos convidados especiais que fizeram a abertura, os nossos keynotes, os painelistas que participaram, os moderadores em especial, que eu queria citar aqui brevemente o Borges, ontem, que conduziu o primeiro painel de conversas, você mesma, Renata, que conduziu o da Indústria 4.0, que a gente teve ontem à noite, e agora a Vera conduziu com maestria um tema muito importante para nós, que é o fluxo de informações ao longo da cadeia do 4.0. Maurício finalizou o dia de ontem, não queria esquecê-lo também. O muito obrigado aqui a você e a todo o empenho, e em especial, para citar ainda nominalmente, ao Johannes, nosso diretor que está atrás da cena aqui, apareceu algumas vezes e elaborou todo, e a Aline, um suporte, o braço direito dele, que fez acontecer todo esse dia entre ontem e hoje. E esse é o ponto que eu queria, aqui, antes das palavras realmente finais, e um presentinho final que a gente tem para terminar esse dia, enaltecer. Nossa missão é trazer conhecimento, fomentar a discussão da engenharia e desenvolver a nossa sociedade. Por isso, nós associamos aqui engenheiros Brasil, Alemanha e aficionados ao tema. A gente vem trabalhando junto e só conseguimos fazer isso com pessoas como vocês que nos assistiram, que participaram, fizeram as perguntas. Muitos já são associados, eu sei, eu vi alguns nomes nas entradas, dá para ver no chat, conhecidos, e alguns interessados, que talvez não estejam conosco, e a estes, eu digo, todo esse conteúdo, 100% que vocês viram, também nos painéis especiais, nos fóruns de discussão, estão disponíveis, graças ao formato digital, tudo está gravado, e como associado você consegue acessar isso. E como você pode ser associado? Ou você, pessoa física, ou a sua empresa, seja micro, seja média, seja uma multinacional que nesse momento não está com a VDI, bem fácil e moderno. Vocês estão vendo o QR Code aí em cima na tela? Bata nele e a conexão estará feita para a sua associação. Tá? Esse QR Code vai ficar aí nesses últimos minutos. É um incentivo a tornar você, cada um que está aí do outro lado da tela, no Brasil, na Alemanha, nos Estados Unidos, no Japão, e com a gente hoje, mas principalmente no Brasil, aqui que a gente vem desenvolvendo isso, o Brasil, se tornar um protagonista nessa história. Tá? Então, para fechar, eu queria deixar essa mensagem ainda. A gente trabalha em clusters, um cluster que nasceu como Cluster Indústria 4.0, hoje a gente usa o nome digitalização, porque ele traz como assunto principal a transformação digital. Ele foi o mote deste Dia da Engenharia, como está claro. A gente tem um segundo cluster muito importante, que é o iEngineer, é o nosso vínculo com a educação, onde a gente tem a maior parte das discussões com as instituições acadêmicas, mas também com a indústria, e vem discutindo o papel do engenheiro e a necessidade de formação do engenheiro. E um cluster novo para nós, que é coordenado pela Renate, né? Eu tenho a satisfação de ser o co-chairman deste cluster, é o cluster de diversidade. Ele idealizou e fez o seu primeiro piloto com a Indústria 4.0, o tema de ontem à tarde, imagino que muitos tenham assistido, talvez um ou outro não tenha visto. Então, o projeto foi levar a engenheiras um conhecimento da Indústria 4.0, isso levou ao desenvolvimento de um assistente virtual a ela, né, uma assistente VDI, virtual, dinâmica e inteligente, criada pelas engenheiras, que estão, certamente muitas delas estão aqui conosco hoje, que trazem a mensagem e o conhecimento da Indústria 4.0, junto com a sororidade feminina, né, trazendo a presença feminina para a engenharia, ou fortalecendo, não trazendo, ela está muito presente, mas ela pode ser fortalecida, é isso que a gente entende. Tá? E esse projeto, no final, acabou juntando os três, juntou a Indústria 4.0, a parte acadêmica de formação, que a gente vem discutindo bastante, né, e o lado da diversidade. Tá? Então, eu gostaria aqui de nos despedir, né, o time VDI vai dizer muito obrigado por esse dia, desejando que todos tiveram uma oportunidade de ter o seu valor agregado, levado junto do que foi apresentado, que trouxe algum conhecimento, algum pensamento novo, né, ou uma discussão que queriam ouvir, né, e despeço-me, e todo o time VDI, com um vídeo produzido por essas 24 engenheiras que participaram do primeiro curso do Indústria 4.0. Né? Aqui um pequeno parênteses ainda, a Renate fez a menção ontem, né, a estreia da segunda versão vai ser feita em março do ano que vem. Tá? A gente volta a esse tema. Mas agora fiquem com este belo vídeo produzido pelas 24 engenheiras. E vejam só a mensagem que a gente quer deixar aqui, terminando o 12º dia da engenharia. Muito obrigado em nome da VDI Brasil.
Eu vi que a indústria não era um ambiente para mulher. Eu vi que mulher deveria ficar em casa, com a barriga no fogão, lavando cueca do seu marido.
Eu deixei de ir de vestido para o trabalho.
Eu ouvi também que mini saia deveria ser um uniforme de mulheres na indústria.
Você está gata para um c...
Ouvi que as estagiárias são contratadas porque são bonitas e cheirosas.
E você acha que esse curso é para você?
Eu tive que entrar no universo masculino, na verdade, pra eu ter uma carta branca pra atuar, sabe?
Eu sempre tive referências masculinas dentro da minha carreira.
Pouquíssimas referências femininas, de verdade, não lembro de ter nenhuma.
Eu acreditava fortemente que eu precisava me encaixar num padrão pra poder ser uma boa engenheira.
Sabe, eu não tenho nada contra mulher em liderança, mas precisa ser meio homem, sabe?
Eles nem cogitam a ideia de trazer uma mulher para a liderança. Não te veem como futuro líder.
O meu maior incômodo na carreira é alguém olhar para mim e não enxergar quem eu sou realmente.
É difícil, né, você ser ouvida. É difícil.
Poucas oportunidades dadas, principalmente poucas oportunidades dadas a mulheres.
Muitas pessoas não acreditam no trabalho de uma mulher.
Não ser reconhecido pelo aquilo que você faz é muito desmotivador.
A gente precisa mostrar 2, 3 vezes mais que uma outra pessoa no mesmo cargo.
Eu ter que me provar constantemente, ver que as pessoas partem do princípio que eu não sei.
E saber que, embora seja uma profissional de excelência, muito provavelmente eu vou receber menos do que a maioria dos meus companheiros homens.
Equidade, né? A gente escuta tanto não, que a gente acaba somatizando, de certa forma, isso.
Eu acho super importante representatividade em vários níveis, né?
para que a gente se reconheça nesses espaços de liderança, que querendo ou não, nós mulheres ainda somos minoria.
Uma mulher, quando ela assume um cargo de liderança na indústria, para mim representa um ato político.
O impacto de uma mulher ocupando um cargo de liderança na indústria 4.0, ele vai mudar a vida de uma engenheira, de uma cientista recém-formada.
Com mais representatividade feminina, negra, latina, em altos cargos, isso vai trazer mais essa pluralidade que o Brasil tem e que ainda nós não conseguimos ver no mercado de trabalho.
Mulheres projetistas, mulheres programadoras, mulheres gestoras.
A partir do momento que o nosso leque de referências femininas, empoderadas, líderes, visionárias, determinadas, motivadas, com brilho no olho, passam a ser esses ícones, eu consigo acreditar que eu também posso chegar lá.
A conexão entre as mulheres, ela é o que move.
Mulheres com filhos, mulheres sem filhos, cada uma tem as suas batalhas, mas muitas vezes na nossa diversidade a gente consegue se reconhecer uma na outra.
Eu sinto que eu realmente melhorei muito profissionalmente depois que eu tive convívio com outras mulheres.
Oportunidade, representatividade e demonstração de que mulheres podem sim ser líderes.
Eu não preciso seguir na minha jornada sozinha. Eu posso fazer uso e devo de uma rede de apoio.
Que ninguém é melhor do que ninguém, nós todas juntas é que formamos algo que é incrível, que é único.
Se ela chegou lá, você pode chegar depois mais longe que ela. E vocês podem se ajudar.
Se ela chegar lá, ela vai puxar mais 5.
Quero ser aquela que é ouvida, dá ideias que são consideradas.
Eu posso criar a oportunidade que eu quero. Eu não preciso esperar que a oportunidade seja criada.
Eu vou realmente botar bandeiras onde eu passar, porque eu quero muito que as próximas gerações de engenheiros que venham saibam exatamente o caminho a ser percorrido.
Eu sou a indústria 4.0.
Ela é a indústria 4.0.
Nós somos a indústria 4.0.
E agora, você me vê?